I mean, that's flipping 101 right there. Your basic grays and your basic whites. How long has this thing been on the market? Oh my goodness. 409 days on the market. Our subject sold for 120 in 23, right around the same time. And this sold for 100. Oof. I think our people didn't know what they were doing when they bought this. Good morning and welcome to another episode of the weekly deal analysis here in the corner barn. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy. Each and every week, I jump on here, pick a random house off the internet, analyze it for a cash deal and a creative deal. Let's get into it. Sticking with Florida again this week, but jumping over to the far edge of the Panhandle, very near Destin. I've never been to Destin, but I've heard nothing but beautiful things about it. So I went just a hair north and found Crestview, Florida. I looking at the Zillow map, I'm guesstimating it's like an hour from the water. This is 282 Bracewell Street in Crestview, Florida, 32536. So this property is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet, built in 1960. Just from the little bit of the pictures here, I'm guessing that it is a flip or rehab, a reno, something to that extent. Let's take a look at the pictures. Looks like a fresh paint job, painted the brick. Some people hate it. I personally love painted brick, but again, you have to use the proper paint. Otherwise, it's over time, it's just going to deteriorate those bricks. Allergies are killing me. I do apologize. So we definitely have a new kitchen here. Panel looks big. Got a lot of extra space in here. I'm guessing that's a pantry or laundry room. Here's your laundry area. Probably some LVP. We got our basic either agreeable gray or Ravier pewter on the walls. Basic whites. 6-panel doors. That was so 1990s. Got our gray carpet. I mean, that's flipping 101 right there. Your basic grays and your basic whites. And dual vanity, single vanity here, sub shower, nice deck off the back. All right, what else we got? All right, how long has this thing been on the market? Oh my goodness, 409 days on the market. What is going on here? Price adjustment call today. No HOA, huge yard, all remodeled. Dun, 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 dun. Near a lot of stuff. All new counters, cabinets, appliances stay. New carpet. Varnished floors. So they refinished the floors. So those are not LVP. They are just regular good old wood. And they said revarnished, not refinished. So did they just wipe everything down and put a new coat of lacquer on top? All right, let's keep grinding. But overall, here's why I like this, or why I chose this. There's Crestview, and there's the water. And then you got Alabama over here, somewhere in this vicinity. But yeah, this is why I chose this one, because it's close to the beach, but not on top of it. So we're getting better, more kind of long-term rates. Price change, price change, price change. What did these poor people get themselves into? So they bought this in 23 for $120,000. And then they've been 310, continuing. They started at 310 and they're down to basically 245. But it just, All right, so they paid 220. They did a beautiful job on the renovations from what it looks like. So, I mean, I'm thinking maybe 200 tops because it doesn't really, I don't know. I'm gonna go with 200 tops. See what else I can see what's going on in the neighborhood. Property taxes are very reasonable, like that. We got a 230 over here for sale. That's been on the market forever too. Goodness. Maybe this is just a really depressed area and it's not. Ooh, goodness. Got 100,000 over here. What's this thing? It sold. It's a lot smaller, but when did it sell? Don't give me those details. You sold 23. All right, so our subject sold for 120 in 23, right around the same time. And this sold for 100. Oof. I think our people didn't know what they were doing when they bought this. Let's see what we got over here. All right, so that sold. Let's see what they paid. Sold in 24. We're getting closer for 240, but we are now roughly a year away from that in 25. Not quite a full year yet. Um, hmm. I'm sticking with 200 on our ARV. Yeah. Unless there's one last thing down here that throws me off. So our ARV or after repair value, I'm giving it 200,000. And what does the good old Zillow say that we would rent? Am I missing something? Or do they just not have it on here? Oh, that's why I can't find it because they don't have it on here. Sorry, we'll check that part in a minute. What else? All right, so I think overall we have what we need to take the next step and analyze this thing. Let's jump over to the Invest Nest. This is my dashboard on the Invest Nest. So I got my dashboard here. I can go straight to a quick search here. I can do a property search anywhere across the US. Just plug that address in there, push go. Deal pipeline. This thing's like a mini CRM. I personally hate using CRMs. I just know it's a vital part of the business. So I have my admin run mine. But if I'm doing some deal sauce in here, then I can keep everything in here. So this is the one we did last week. If I put a contract on that, then I can, well, if I skip trace it and call the seller, move it over here. And it's literally just a drag and drop. If I'm analyzing it, same thing. If I make an offer on it, just keep moving buckets. And then once I close on it, I can add it to my portfolio or I can archive it. So if it does resurrect itself at some point, I can go back in and I don't have to completely redo the analysis on everything. Um, the groups I like a lot. You can check out different groups around your area. Literally just kind of scroll through and honestly play around with it. Um, my groups, this is a local meetup here in my area with some great investors. I actually just bought my most recent deal from going to this meetup. And this is my personal meetup. We meet every second Saturday here in person in Mount Airy, Maryland, and every third Wednesday um, virtual right around lunchtime. But if you want to check those out, Our Facebook group page is Western Maryland Dominators. Check us out on Facebook. We'd love for you to join us. Let's analyze the deal. Property search, I already cut and pasted, so I just do that. Click on that, brings everything up. And when I was talking about skip tracing, they give it to you for free. Well, it's included, but use my code. It's in the link below. Just cut and paste it, and you get 50% off your first month and 1 week free just to test everything out. And again, they don't charge extra for skip tracing. I think overall they're charging like 15 bucks a month right now. PropStream and Privy are great, but this one does pretty much the same thing, just not on a mass scale. So if you're a newer investor, I think this would be perfect for you. Let's see if they got a mortgage on this day. Does not look like they have a mortgage on it, so that's a good sign. Looks like earlier this year they tried to sell this thing for 280. What they started at? No, they started like 310. Either way, that ain't working. This county, Okaloosa, Okaluka, you know what I mean. All right, let's analyze this sucker with our calculator that the Invest Nest provides. 283 Bracewell. All right, so we said our ARV is going to be 200, and as you know, I offer 70% minus repairs. Really don't think there's anything to repair here, so we'll do 200,000 times 70%. That's going to give us 140,000. All right, so our offer price is going to be 140,000. Closing costs, we're paying both sides. This is probably high, especially for Florida, but we're going with 4%. 2 points to our hard money lender or DSCR lender or, or basically no doc lender. We're leaving the renovations at 0. We only want to put 20% down. And our rental numbers are 1754. Zillow couldn't give us an estimate on that, but as you know, I like to check out HUD. This is HUD. I plugged in the county, and this is what it spits out. The link for this will be down below. It's like 4 simple steps to get in here. So for a 4-bedroom, this thing is saying HUD is going to pay 26. Holy buckets. That is a large leap from what street value at 1750 to HUD value at almost $1,000 more than that. So this is the max that they would pay. So I think we bumped this down to, I'm kind of scared to go any higher than 2,200 a month, but let's check it, see what happens. I'm gonna write that down, 2,200. Our insurance is going to be 1,500 bucks a year, which is $125 a month. Property taxes, we let the Nest figure that stuff out. Management fee, standard, pretty much anywhere you're going, is going to be 10%. All of our utilities, the tenant's going to be taking care of those, so I'm not factoring that stuff in. Our war chest, repairs, maintenance, vacancy, and CapEx. Put 15% away from each month's rent, and then you'll never have to dig into your pocket because you've already set that stuff aside. And when we go to sell this thing, we're only paying 5% because we're real estate investors, and well, we don't pay full commission. I do need to go back and do one thing here because I'm pretty sure I forgot. Yep, I did forget. our interest rate is going to be 7.5%, and we want 30-year term. All right. Oh, hello. So yeah, we really like this investment. So this is a phenomenal cash deal. Obviously, if you can pick it up for this price, I'm not sure the seller's willing to do that, but at least we know that we got plenty of room to play with this from our initial offer price. So this would be netting after your reserves over $600 a month. That's my kind of investment. 35, almost $36,000 out of pocket. And this is even with a 7.5% interest rate. So with everybody complaining about rates, I'm one of them. Don't get me wrong. There's still deals to be made. You just got to hunt a lot deeper for them. Cash on cash return over 21%, ROI over 32%. Cap rate, if you're into that, is over 12%. Great numbers. Maybe this is why Zillow couldn't give us a number, because HUD and roughly street value are so different. I mean, this is killer deal right here. All right, so it's a phenomenal cash deal. Now let's see how much better we can make it going creative. Welcome to my creative calculator. It is nothing fancy by any stretch, but if you want to get your copy, go to my website, christhompsonteam.com, download it for free. There's a bunch of other useful tips and tricks on there. I don't charge for any of this stuff. Use it, love it. And honestly, if you would give me feedback, let me know, hey, Chris, this is great. Or hey, Chris, you kind of suck. Either way, I appreciate it. All right, so our ARV was going to be 200,000. Is that right? Yep, 200,000. So when we're asking for seller finance or terms, we get a whole lot closer to that ARV asking price. I still think they're way too high, but we're coming in pretty low on this from where they're at. So let's see if we can throw 200 at them. And we're going to offer them a 2% interest rate. And we got to figure out our PITI. What's the PITI? Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So our all-in monthly payment, basically. So for that, I like to go to Bankrate. Bankrate has a phenomenal calculator. It's super user-friendly. And if you're cheap like me, it's free. So our offer price is going to be 200,000. We're going to offer them 5% down at a 2% rate. And I already plugged that in already. Property tax, I'm going to confirm with here, is 105. Oh, 105. And yep, that's right. So let's see what our payment's going to be. Ooh, I'd be willing to bet this one's going to be better. So our all-in PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance are going to be $932 a month. 932. And we said our potential rents are 2,200. Oh yeah. So that's putting $330 a month away in the war chest, paying our property manager 220, and we're net $718 a month. This is incredible. I love it. But ultimately we're almost $11,000 in over here. Down payment to the seller is $10,000. Agent commission, they ain't doing nothing. Let's give them 500 bucks to go away. No assignment fee because we're not dealing with a wholesaler. Cost of renos, we said none. Arrears, holding is 2 months of this PITI, and a good TC to make sure your paperwork is in line is $1,000. So for just over $21,000, you have a basically 2.5 year ROI, return on your investment, to get your capital back out of it. So 21 and 700, or where are we at here? Here's 35, almost 36 at 640, 37. So the cash flow net doesn't change drastically, but this cash out of pocket does change pretty drastically. So that does it on this episode of the weekly deal analysis. We broke down 282 Bracewell Street in Crestview, Florida, just above Destin. And overall, cash deal is pretty boss. The creative deal is even more boss. I would say keep adjusting your numbers and throwing offers at these people until they bite, or just tell you to go away because they're not interested. But that's the game of investment. Thanks for tuning in this week. We will catch you next week where we pick another random house off the internet, analyze it for a cash and a creative deal. I am Chris Thompson. We're in the corner barn, and I'm also the creative guy. See you next week.